Welcome back, everyone, to more of our custom career mode and career experience. And today is going to be exciting. Today is going to be exciting because the future of our drivers is at stake. We're ready to move forward into the Xfinity series at the end of today's video. We're going to run another truck season as well as an ARCA season. And by the end of today's video, we're going to have all the information we need to decide who's moving forward into the Xfinity series, who's moving up into the truck series, and maybe who's losing out and losing their ride with the team. We're going to make some decisions based on the information we have up to this point, and then in particular, based on today's results. So a lot of futures are at stake. Let's get to it. Now, obviously, we're sitting here with $22.5 million. Thank you very much, Cup Series, for providing us with a lot of money. Without them, we would definitely be trying to stretch every penny because, well, they're providing quite a bit of money each season. And we're using that money to good effect. Now, as far as marketing level, we are one level away from being maxed out. So I am very interested in getting that taken care of. But what I'm most interested in doing first is we need to do our adjustments and then head over to Series Relative Performance to see if we need to upgrade our team. Obviously, the driver upgrades are done. We took care of that in our last video. So we won't have any more driver adjustments to do until we start promoting drivers next time. But let's head over to Dynamic Adjustments. And how many do we want to do today? Let's do 3. So just off the top of my head, doing one just doesn't quite seem to be enough. I want to do multiple each time. Sometimes that's 2, sometimes it might be 1, but other times I like doing 3 or more. All right, there we go. I think that was 3. I kind of lost track there. So I intended it to be 3, but who knows? We might have done 2, we might have done 4. I can't remember. All right, that's manufacturers, it's drivers, and now let's move back up to the teams. And yes, okay, I like it. And just as I scroll down through, look at Front Row Motorsports here. A plus 15 out of all the adjustments. Then you look at some other teams like maybe Stewart Haas, minus 7, Petty, GMS at minus 8. Ooh. So some teams are looking great, plus 17. Other teams, not so much. Same thing with the drivers. Some guys are getting better, some guys are not. So now that we have our adjustments, let's head over to the Series Relative Performance and take a look first at ARCA. Are we still Tier 1 teams with everybody? And the answer is no. Jeffrey Earnhardt is not. So we need to do a little bit more there. The good news is he's at a 9, so he just missed out. So the question is, if we do 10, let's just do a 10 for everybody, and let's see if that gets him there. Oh yeah, it looks like that's going to be, oh yeah, that's going to be perfectly fine there. So let's go ahead and do the 10. Okay, and in ARCA, not near as expensive as it is in some of the other series. So once again, we'll do 10. We'll lock in purchase. There we go, $375,000. No big deal at all. Now we head back over to Series Relative Performance, and this time we want the Truck Series. All right, where are we here? Oof, it did not go well at all for us. Look at that, it's Tier 2 for all of our teams. Okay, yikes. I mean, I was ready to do maybe some adjustments, but look at this. I mean, Kaylee Bryson is now 13th. She dropped several spots, 9th, 11th. Oh, this is no good. This is no good at all. So who is continuing to impress? Kyle Busch is now over 100 on performance, so they did not lose any ground. Toyota keeps gaining performance. They're at 111 now. We're at 91. That's 20 points we didn't need to lose. quite frankly. Now, performance on the driver's side of things, well, you can see Kaylee Bryson's now back below 80. Everybody else seems to be holding pretty steady overall. 93. I mean, overall, we're not too bad there. I think more than anything, it's our manufacturer that is crushing us here in the trucks. Ouch. I mean, if we were a Toyota team, then we would be doing amazingly well and we would need no more adjustments. All right, so let's go ahead and do 20. Let's just try to overcome this. That should be plenty to make this happen. I mean, obviously, I'm thinking hopefully we could get by with less than the 20, but let's just go ahead and do 20 and see what that does. So actually, the 20 just barely does it. That just gets us into the top 8 with all 4. Wow. I mean, wow. Okay, well, if 20 is what we need, 20 is what we need. So 20 it is. All right, also in other good news, I've got a fly that has decided it is once again time to torment me. So he's running laps around my head. He was doing this several videos ago during a race. So yeah, not exactly what I was hoping for. Maybe I can catch him during today's video. You guys will probably hear it because it'll be a loud bang if I'm able to catch this scoundrel. Because I will lay waste to him if I can, because he has been on me for several days now. All right, so there's our 20. Let's hop back over to the home screen. Yeah, we're still at 21 million. Now, keep in mind, that's very important because going forward, we're going to need plenty of money for Xfinity, for driver updates, and then also getting into the Cup. We're going to need to expand our Cup operation, so we're going to need a lot of money. So I am very happy with where we are. So now that both of our series that we're focusing on right now, ARCA and Trucks, now that we have everybody back up to a tier 1, now we see that we've got 21 million remaining, and I'm looking squarely at this marketing level 15. Let's go ahead and make this happen. We're now done with the marketing levels. We have maxed it out. This is the most money we can make. Now that's going to be important because it means whenever I run the next Cup season, we're going to be able to sign some very nice sponsors. And it also means that once we start expanding our Cup operation, we don't have to worry about marketing level anymore. We've spent a little over $14.5 million upgrading that, and I believe it has been more than worth it overall. All right, so we've got that taken care of. Actually, with $12.6 million, we could actually start to do some more upgrades, but I'm going to hold off. I want to do some upgrades in the Cup car. That's what I really want to do. And get rid of some of those bad finishes. Because right now we're basically a starting park Cup team. But I'm going to hold off. We're going to save our money. Our $12.6 million, we're going to add to that this year. But right now, we need to head over to Simulated Seasons, and we need to get started. So one thing I wanted to show you guys here on the Cup. You might notice that there is a blue cell down here. That's right. We got our first Cup win in the most recent season. Now, unfortunately, that was the only highlight. Everything else was terrible. We finished 34th in points. It was awful. But we did get our very first win. So I wanted to show you guys that before I ultimately have to reset that and lose that. But we did get our first victory. So once again, we're going to hop back over to the Truck Series. Here's our results from last season. And it gives me a great opportunity to talk about which drivers are looking best to move forward into Xfinity. We've already talked about 2 that in my mind have a guaranteed spot. Kaylee Bryson and Hailie Deegan are moving forward. Hailie because she's the champion. In the past season, 4 wins, championship. She did amazing. Kaylee Bryson, she's been our team leader basically since day 1, since we signed her to the team. And she comes home in 4th. I mean, she is consistent. She does great There's no reason for her not to move forward. She's done everything she needs to do. Now the question is, how many drivers are we moving forward? Are we going to move all 4? Right now, I have to say no. Right now, I've got 2 drivers I'm comfortable moving to Xfinity. The other 2 I'm not. So they need to show me something this year. Not that they've done just awful, but they need to show me that they're ready to move on. Otherwise, they'll be staying in trucks until such a time that they can show me that they're ready to move on. Because we have other candidates that we can move forward with. We've talked about Derek Thorne. We've talked about Hunter Robbins. We've talked about Casey Roderick. We've talked about these guys. So maybe they steal a slot if Jade and Taylor are not careful. So let's go ahead and clear out the results and get this season started. All right, let's get this thing started. I'll go ahead and highlight the row. So we're looking from the highlight down to the solid line. Let's get this thing going. Let's get the first few races out of the way. Race number 1, and Jade Avedisian brings home the victory. Remember, neither Jade nor Taylor had a victory in last season, so Jade immediately changes that by winning the first race of the season. Race number 2, unfortunately not quite as good for her, but we do get one driver in the top 10, and that's Kaylee Bryson. All right, race number 3, again, just not good overall for our team. We're just not consistent. The drivers aren't doing everything they need to do. We've seen some rough finishes so far. So as we finish off the first 5 races, race 5 is more like it. 3 drivers in the top 5, as well as Haley Deegan coming home in 8th position. So after the first 5 races, Jade Avedisian making a strong statement that she wants to be driver number 3 on our Xfinity team. However, Taylor Reimer, not doing terrible, but she's not impressing right now. She's had some good runs. She's doing just fine. But again, just not impressing me to this point. All right, let's go ahead and scroll over a little bit. All right, race number 6. Oh, Kaylee Bryson coming home with the victory. And Taylor Reimer also in the top 5. Race 7. Taylor Reimer coming around. Another top 5. That's 3 in a row for her. Meanwhile, Haley Deegan not having any fun this season. Race number 8 on the season, just sort of average. One driver in the top 5, a couple in the top 10. The other 2 just miss. So nothing very impressive about race 8. Race 9, though, Kaylee Bryson storms back with another win. And Taylor Reimer, another top 5. Okay, that's what I like to see. We got some drivers making some strong moves toward moving to the next level. And I'm perfectly fine moving all 4 of them. That would be perfectly fine with me. But I believe they got to earn it. And so far, if you look at the 2 strongest drivers after the first 10 races of the season, it's the 2 looking to move up and prove to me that they're ready to move up. All right, 10 races down. Nearly half the season in the books. Let's see how this thing finishes off. Can they finish strong? All right, race number 11, race 12, 2 top 5s in each of those races. That is good. And if you peek over and look at the point standings, Jade Avedisian in first, Taylor Reimer in second. They heard me. They are performing exactly the way they need to so far this season. All right, I'm looking for a comeback from Haley. She's fallen behind early, but she's had some strong races. Everything in the last 6 races inside the top 10. That's how you come back. All right, and then, of course, we've seen Kaylee Bryson, 2 wins. She's in 6th. She's doing everything she needs to do right now at about halfway through the season. So second half of the season, let's see who continues to be strong. Race 14, not great for Jade or Taylor. Not great at all. And then race 15, Haley Deegan jumps on board with her first win of the season. Okay, very good. Also a top 5 for Taylor. She is really doing well here recently. Ouch. Until race 16. 40th position. That's not what we're looking for. And that's certainly not going to help you in the points. Meanwhile, Jade has fallen off the last 4 to 5 weeks. Nothing inside the top 10 in the last 4. It's not good. On the other hand, Kaylee Bryson is just doing what she always does. She's got 2 wins this season. She's sitting here in 3rd position. She's 13 top 10s. I mean, she's doing everything that we're used to seeing her do. She's just consistently good. So now let's finish off the season. Remember, 23 races, but we're going to move all the way across and just focus on the race finishes as they're generated. Race 17, 2nd place for Kaylee. Race 18, just not getting it done. Only 1 driver inside the top 10, nothing to write home about there. Following that up, race 19, much better. 3 of our 4 inside the top 5. That's what we need to be doing. The only caveat there is we need some more race wins. Anytime we get a race win, it just makes me want them even more. Race 20, not bad. A couple of drivers in the top 5. Also, a couple that struggle. Race 21, another victory. Kaylee Bryson is putting together a stellar season. I thought it was going to be Jade. That's the way she started out. Now she has faded. So let's see how this thing ends up. 2 more races, a 4th for Kaylee. Now at this point, it's hard not to focus solely on Kaylee Bryson. I mean, look at what she's done the second half of the season. She's been in the top 5 nearly every race. I mean, she's got to be contending for the championship. She's got to be. Wow. And the final race of the season, race 23, and Hailie Deegan comes home with, I believe that's her 2nd win. 1, 2, yeah, her 2nd win of the season, and she needed that because she has struggled overall this season. Not nearly as many top 5s or 10s as we would like to see from her. Unfortunately, Jade did not finish strong. All right, I'm seeing some good things. So let's scroll across and, we just missed. That had to be close. All right, who won the championship? So we got Matt Crafton, who wins the title at 703 points. Okay, so maybe it wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be. 674 for Kaylee Bryson, so a solid 2nd place run. And then 3 wins. Okay, 2 wins for Hailie Deegan. A disappointing 10th place finish in points. Same thing for Jade. Disappointing. So that leaves me with some decisions. But first, let's just take an overall look. Obviously, Kaylee Bryson, she was already in the Xfinity Series next season. She had already secured her spot. But if she hadn't already, she definitely impressed this year. 3 wins, 2nd place overall. And look at all of the top 5s and 10s. Easily the most top 5s in the series. That is amazing performance. So Kaylee Bryson, a standout performer once again. But the question becomes, what about Jade and Taylor? And at this point, I see no reason to move Jade forward into the Xfinity Series. Now, as I will repeatedly say, she did not do terrible. 9th in points is outside where we need to be, for sure. I'm looking for top 7, top 8 at the worst. So 9th is beyond that. But it's not terrible. She did pick up a win and had a decent season, but it's a little bit disappointing overall, and certainly not what I was looking for after her great start to the season. Now, Taylor Reimer, in my opinion, did what she needed to do this season. And I say that not just because of the 4th position. She didn't get any wins, but very consistent with the top 5s and top 10s. I say that because in the past, she's been strong. She's been consistent. And this shows me that she is continuing that trend. Maybe not as strong as I might like to see on the win side of things, but very good overall. And based on her past performance added in, I think she's ready to go. Jade, unfortunately, is not. So now we've got 3 drivers that are going to be moving forward. That means we've got 3 openings here in the series. So real quick, before we hop over to the ARCA series and run that schedule out, let's look at anybody over here who might have impressed. All right, so I'm first looking for Amber. Amber, 13th in points is not terrible, but it's not great. As a Tier 2 team, not bad, certainly, but just not as impressive as I was hoping for. Matt DiBenedetto, 20th in the points. Again, even as a Tier 3 team, was looking for a little bit more. If you want to impress as a Tier 3 team, then I'm looking for 15th, 16th, something like that. Maybe some more top 5s or top 10s than what he's got. So as I look for drivers that I might want to sign, the same ones keep coming forward. Hunter Robbins, Casey Roderick here in the Truck Series. They keep getting it done. So I'm going to make note. Hunter is one I'm going to go after. And then Casey Roderick. Year after year here in the Truck Series, they continually do what I need them to do. Now you look at Hunter Robbins, he's 6th in points. 2 victories as a Tier 2 team. That is impressive. Roderick, the 19th certainly isn't bad, but it's not terribly impressive. But the fact that he is so consistently winning races year after year, even as a Tier 3 operation, that's impressive. So I'm looking there as well. So that's 2 drivers I'm going to look to pick up and fill these slots. But it leaves us 1 more slot available. And so I'm going to be looking to see if any of our ARCA drivers are ready to go. All right, so as we hop back into ARCA, let's go ahead and clear our results. So now everybody is fresh. Everybody is Tier 1. Carson Kvapil had an amazing season in our last campaign with ARCA. Sammy Smith has been very good. To me, those are the 2 front runners. Neither Jeffrey Earnhardt nor Michael House have done enough to show me at this point that they're ready to go. So they're going to have to wow me in this season. But Carson and Sammy have done well. And of course, Sammy has been remarkably consistent in his finishes. All right, so here we go. Let's get the season started. And wow, what a first race. 5, 6, 7, and 8. That is a strong start to our season. Race number 2, not quite as good. Not exactly what we were looking for. Still not bad. 3 of the 4 in the top 10, but I'm looking for top 5s and wins. Race number 3, again, not really giving me what I'm looking for, even though we did have a couple of drivers in the top 10. We need to be doing better, and that is what I mean. Race number 4, our first victory of the season by Carson Kvapil. He's got speed. He has shown us that. Can he be consistent enough to perform at the higher levels? That's the remaining question for him. Race number 5, this is a good finish. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Now, unfortunately, Sammy Smith not off to a good start this season. 22nd in points after 5 races, but remember, it's a 20-race season. He's got plenty of time, but he's got to do something. He's got to do something. Right now, Carson Kvapil is showing me he wants to move up. He wants that other slot in the Truck Series. Can he get it? Can he be consistent enough to make it happen? Or are one of these other drivers going to jump up and decide it's theirs for the taking? So race number 6 sees the first victory of the season for Jeffrey Earnhardt. I've been a little disappointed so far since we brought Jeffrey Earnhardt onto the team. He just hasn't performed as well. I thought he could be a standout performer, and it just hasn't happened so far. So he's one that really needs to impress me in order to stay with the organization. All right, race number 7, win number 2 for Carson Kvapil. He is having a season so far. He just needs to keep it up. Race number 8, not terrible. 3 of the 4 inside the top 10, and then an 11th for our final driver. So not terrible, but again, I'm looking for top 5s. I'm looking for wins. I want to be impressed to show me that you're ready to move up. And right now, Carson Quapple is the only one that's really doing that. All right, race 9 was, again, not too bad. Race 10, we get the first win of the season for Sammy Smith. Now, Sammy's trying to fight back from a miserable start to the season, and this will certainly help. All right, so now as I get ready to move things over, we'll go ahead and get our highlight, scroll across, and here we go. Race number 11. Oof, not good as a team. One top 5, yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Race 12, better. We come home 5, 6, and 8. So 3 of the 4, not too bad. Race 13, and Carson Quapple's back to his winning ways. He picks up win number 3 of the season, but as a team, this is a great result. 1st, 2nd, 6th, and 8th. That is how you get the job done as a team. Race 14, much the same. 3, 4, 6, and 8. That is also getting it done. So that's 2 races in a row that clearly our drivers and our team was on top of it. And we followed that up with probably the worst race of the season. At least I hope it was. I mean, 29th, 33rd, 22nd. Oh, this is not what we want. Carson Quapple with a 6th place finish salvaged at least something for us there. All right, in race 16, not terrible. We had 1 top 5 with Sammy Smith, so not terrible there, but overall, just not what we're looking for. Now, for the final few races of the season, I'm going to go ahead and scroll all the way across. I love doing this. Love doing this. Now, unfortunately, we haven't really had the season with everybody to this point to think about championships for everybody, but it is a possibility with Carson Quapple. So race 17, we bring home a victory. So Jeffrey Earnhardt picks up victory number 2 of the season, and overall, that's not bad at all. 1, 4, 6, and 9. That's pretty good. Race 18, another good run for 3 of the 4 drivers. 3 of the 4 in the top 5. Race number 19, okay, very good. 2, 3, 6, and 12. That's hard to complain a whole lot about that. And then the final race of the season, not quite as good. A bit of a mixed bag here. 4 and 6, 2 good finishes there. But then 11 and 18, not exactly all that impressive. So now that the season is over, we'll scroll back across. And Carson Quapple is your champion. 3 wins on the season. He was finally able to put it all together. He's been fast. He's had a lot of wins, but he hasn't been consistent enough for a full season to bring home the title. This year, he changed that. And that is going to earn him a spot moving forward into the trucks. That is exactly what I was looking for. Now, other than that, what did we have? Well, Michael House was very impressive. 3 wins. Now, he didn't have a win. That held him back, obviously. But look at the top 10s. He had more than anybody else on our team. And he was also right there with the top 5s. So, all things considered, 3rd in points, a lot of top 10s, top 5s. I am very impressed here as well. So, very happy with Michael House. The one that has disappointed me the most so far since coming onto the team is Jeffrey Earnhardt. Now, this season wasn't bad. If he was doing this year in and year out, that wouldn't be terrible at all. But I was hoping for more from him. I was hoping he could be top 3 in points on a regular basis. I was hoping he would be getting 3, 4, 5 wins a season. Remember, this is the ARCA series. He's performed in higher tier series, so he's got the experience, but he's just not performing the way I had hoped. He's still a solid performer on the team, but ultimately we have to decide, because ARCA is about grooming our drivers to move up to the next tier, to trucks, and then ultimately to Xfinity, and then finally to Cup. So is he showing us what we need to see in order to move him up, or is he showing us that he is just a good, solid ARCA performer? And is that enough to stay on the team? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We're going to have to make some decisions there. But at this point, Michael House, Sammy Smith will definitely be staying here in ARCA because neither has shown me that they're quite ready to move up. But Michael House has now had 2 of the 3 seasons that we've had him on board. He has been solid. Very good performer. Carson will be moving up to the Truck Series. So the Truck Series is going to look very different next year. We'll just have to see how different and who do we get to fill these slots. So now that we've taken a look internally at our team, let's look at some other guys and see what they might have been able to do here. Who was impressive? I just have to laugh at this point. Alex LeBay is just putting in work here in the ARCA series. Just every year he's in the top 5 in points. Every year he's getting wins. He's doing well. Unfortunately for him, he's just not what I'm looking for in this particular career experience. Myatt Snyder, again, doing well. Couple of wins, top 5 in points, but I would frankly expect him to be doing a little bit more. I would be expecting him to contend for championships, and he's just not doing that. Now, Brandon Brown, 2nd in points, 2 wins, 16 top 10s. I mean, those are great numbers. So Brandon Brown looking very nice. Who else? Is there anybody else that stands out? And the answer is Derek Thorne. Now, his points position, not great. Couple of wins, though. Speed, he's got it. Rajah Caruth gets a win. Pope gets a win. Daniel Dye gets a win. I mean, these are all nice, but nothing is really jumping out at me. But like I said, I do like Derek Thorne. I've liked him before. So he is definitely on my list. So we've got some decisions to make as we finish up today. When we come back next time, we'll be making those decisions and moving into the Xfinity series. But that is going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And I hope you guys are enjoying this career experience as much as I am.